as the sound of gunfire echoes through the Turkish side of the border. The Islamic State has threatened to massacre Kobane's defenders in an assault which has sent almost 200,000 Syrian Kurds fleeing to Turkey and triggered a call to arms from Kurds across the region. The Iraqi Kurdish region's parliament voted last week to deploy some Peshmerga to Syria and under pressure from Western allies. Turkey agreed to let Peshmerga forces from Iraq travel through its territory to reach Kobane.
Well, the viewers, Elizabeth Arad joins me now to talk more about this. Elizabeth is in the VOA studios in Washington. Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks for joining us on The World today. Great to see you and great to hear you, I hope. We've heard reports that Syrian rebels are going to Kobane to join the fight against ISIS. In fact, one contingent is already on the ground. Are there any structures in place to ensure that the rebels do not pursue their own agenda when they arrive?
Well, we had a statement from one of the leaders of the Syrian Kurdish rebels who said there will be some kind of joint command structure of some sort. Now, it's very chaotic on the ground. It's hard to see how this will work out very well, especially when we're having street-by-street fighting. But there certainly are suspicions that the Syrian Kurds have been reluctant to have the Free Syrian Army rebels come along. The Assad government had pretty much left the Kurdish areas alone, withdrew from there to focus on the FSA, and so the FSA has been suspicious about the Kurds. But I think at least they will be united on this battle against the Islamic State.
And the fact that they are from different groups, will the rebel fighters and the Kurdish Peshmerga, will they all be working with the coalition forces on the ground? Because the reason I ask is because all of these groups have, they've all had something they've been fighting for up until now, that they decided to work with one another to destroy the ISIS fighters in Kobane. But will they be working with other coalition forces on the ground?
Well, we have heard that there has been coordination with the YPG, the Syrian Kurdish militia, with coalition forces, giving them locations for where to drop, for airstrikes, where to drop resupplies, although of course we have heard that they have been unsuccessful in some of those cases. But by and large, it's in everyone's interest to coordinate with the coalition in terms of getting backup support.
And will the Syrian government be involved in any of this? Have they shown any support so far to the coalition or to the fight against ISIS? Because some of those groups are also fighting against the Syrian government, while some are on the side of the coalition, right?
Yes, it's incredibly convoluted, all the various alliances here. I mean, a year ago, the U.S. was going to be bombing the Assad government for the alleged chemical weapons strike against civilians. Now it has the tacit approval of the Syrian government to go and carry out these airstrikes on Syrian using Syrian airspace. So even though they're nominal enemies, there is that certain amount of coordination. And again, you have the FSA coming to the side of an enemy, meaning the coalition of their enemy, and at the same time all fighting this common battle against the Islamic State. So it does get very, very intrigue-filled as one looks at the various alliances.
Thanks a lot, Elizabeth. I guess we'll leave it there and see how well these forces work together and what happens in the next few days in Kobane. Elizabeth Arad with the VOA in Washington, D.C. When we come back after the break, President Goodluck Jonathan will be picking up his nomination form for presidency tomorrow in the 2015 general elections. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The World today. It's been a very busy week already. We're just in the middle of the week and a lot has happened so far on the political scene here in Nigeria with the Speaker of the House of Representatives defecting. And now President Goodluck Jonathan saying that tomorrow he will be picking up his nomination and expression of interest form for the presidency in 2015 in his party, the People's Democratic Party. The PDP had last week said it will not extend the date for anyone, even the president. But President Jonathan has said he's encouraged by the overwhelming support that he's received from Nigerians to seek re-election. A statement from his spokesperson, Dr. Ruben Abati, reveals that groups and individuals, including state governors, have contributed monies for the president's nomination form. The president is expected to pay a sum of 22 million naira for the nomination and expression of interest form. Well, while the president will be picking up his form tomorrow, two presidential aspirants of the same party, the People's Democratic Party, have accused the party of denying them the opportunity and their right to purchase those forms and participate in the 2015 presidential elections. The two aspirants, Abdul Tafabaloa and Akusoba Duke Abiola, allege that the leadership of the PDP refused to sell the nomination forms to them, saying that it has reserved the only form available for the sole candidate.
The 66th NEC meeting of the People's Democratic Party had endorsed President Goodluck Jonathan as a consensus candidate ahead of next year's elections. Since that endorsement, no aspirant had come in the open to challenge the decision. However, the sole candidature of the president was challenged on Tuesday by two presidential aspirants of the party who were alleged to be denied their right to participate in the elections after paying for their forms.
I have paid for my forms. This is it. I was, however, told that they didn't have the forms ready.
I asked, why won't you give me a nomination form? And they said to me very clearly that they've printed just one nomination form. I have the electoral guidelines for primary election, the latest edition, 2014. I have not seen where it is stated that you need to print just one form. PDP, the largest political party in Africa, printed one party nomination form for the office of president.
According to the aspirants, the party says it has no form for them except for one candidate.
We have so many gubernatorial forms and so many people picking those up. There are very few of us, just the president and I, as far as I know. So why two forms will not be ready is a little bit worrisome.
I have official receipt from the People's Democratic Party. In simple jurisprudential terms, when you have a receipt, the consequence of that is that you are given what you have paid for. Here I have a receipt without any service rendered, i.e., no nomination form.
Meanwhile, the party's publicity secretary, Elisa Metu, says he will get further clarification on the matter.
It is good to balance stories in this period and this season of elections. I will want to confirm from the chairman, national chairman, and from national organizing secretary the true position. I do not want to believe report of an individual or group as against the elected leaders of our party, who are the custodians of the party constitution.
Although President Goodluck Jonathan had indicated his interest to seek re-election in 2015, he is yet to purchase the nomination form, which party says will expire on Thursday, the 30th of October 2014.